Do you think that we're going to see another Black Bachelorette?
No.
You don't?
I mean, like, I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Listen, after what happened with Mike, I'm not hopeful at all. So that's why I keep talking about it, because maybe it'll start the conversation and maybe it'll change.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Do you agree?
Yeah. I hope there is. I mean, hopefully next
Yeah.
year, the 25th Bachelor, 25th anniversary, I think hopefully they go back and choose Mike. If not, if there's another
Somebody
great candidate, yeah.
Yeah. That's incredibly frustrating to hear. That's got to be sad to hear. Do you ever, I mean, obviously you don't regret doing the show because it led you to Brian, but
Sure.
do you ever regret being part of this franchise that lacks so much diversity?
No, I don't regret it,
Okay.
because I'm doing exactly what I said I would do, which is one of the main reasons I said yes. Yes, I was open to love, but I was like, oh, I don't know if it's actually going to happen. But I did it because I felt it was bigger than me, and they needed to see a person of color in this role, you know, for an audience who had never seen it before, and I felt that I could do it well. So now that I've done it, why would I stop talking about it?
yeah.
Somebody's got to say something. I have to be representative of it because I've been the only one. So I don't regret it at all, because I'm going to keep the conversation going. As I said, nobody else is really talking about it. So if I don't, who will?
Will. Have they ever told you to stop talking?
No, they
Okay,
haven't.
Good.
I'm like, did they just cut my mic off right now?
I was just wondering because, like you said, you need an advocate. You need somebody standing up, and you need somebody speaking out about it because it's so important. And to
Yeah.
hear you say that you don't think that there will be another person of color as the Bachelorette is really disappointing.
Yeah. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong.
Prove me wrong. Yeah. Do you feel that way because it's like, okay, you were it, and that box is checked. We did that, and now we can move on. Is that how you feel, kind of?
I feel like there are a lot of things, you know, one, because of what just happened recently with Mike.
Yeah.
So if Mike can't get it, what's the reason?
Right.
You know, even after me, you've had CN, you've had Tasha, you know, that you went back and got, not that Hannah B was bad, but she was like number 9. Tasha was number 3. Usually the system picks one of the top 4. Why not? So that it's things like that that I'm like, okay, well, you've had, before the excuse used to be no one was making it far enough. Well, now they are. So now what?
You have been very vocal about Mike not being the Bachelor, which a lot of people, including myself, are upset about. Can you still not kind of wrap your head around why he isn't the Bachelor?
No, I don't get it. I also don't get why other people, you know, other
Aren't
people
as
in Bachelor
vocal?
Nation aren't speaking up. I
Yeah.
feel like the theme in Bachelor Nation is for people to quietly talk about it, but nobody wants to be outspoken. And I hear a lot of other leads or cast members say, oh, it's such a shame that, you know, Mike Johnson didn't get it. Okay, well, why aren't we talking about it? Let's have this conversation. It shouldn't always just be us saying this, because I know people are upset. It is disappointing. I mean, he was a great candidate, not saying Peter's not as well, and I'm sure it was hard for the Bachelor producers to figure that out, but I can't understand why it wasn't Mike.
I mean, he literally checks all of the
checks all the
boxes.
boxes,
yeah.
Like, you can't get any more perfect than that. And it's incredibly frustrating, and it almost seems, to me, I'm sure you might agree, embarrassing to the franchise at this point that you don't have a Black Bachelor.
Yeah. Well, apparently it's not. I mean, I've heard them speak out since then, and they're like, listen, people are always going to have something to say about who we choose. Okay, but we're always saying the same thing at this point. The same thing is that they all look the same. You know, there was a meme going around on Instagram where all 24 of them were up, and you couldn't differentiate
yeah.
between them
No,
unless there
it's-
was a name written underneath.
Diversity, yeah.
And so that's what I don't get. Like, we're not complaining about who it is. We're complaining about an issue as to, like, what the person looks like that's being chosen. And so hopefully next season we'll see something different.
Right. You said that the system has to change. How would you change the system?
I think that as it stands, it's obviously not giving the people what they want as far as a diverse person in that role. So I think that, or a person of color, I should say, in that role. So I think that they're going to have to go back to what they used to do in interviewing who their leads are. I think that's what
Break
needs
the
to
rules a
happen.
little bit.
Yeah.
They broke the rules for Demi and Christian. Let's break them again. Bring
Right.
somebody from the outside into that role.
Yeah. How do you think do you think it will affect Pete at all going into the season?
No, I actually talked to Pete. I ran into him when I was doing a tour talking about something else, and he was doing it right before he was about to go into the mansion and meet the ladies. And I told him, I said, listen, I think that you are great, and this is nothing personal against you. And I said, I don't know what you'll hear, but I was a proponent for Mike being the Bachelor. Please don't take this in a negative way, but I feel it is my place to advocate for him because I don't know who else is going to. And I said, because of the way that I look, and because of the way he looks, and I do think that he's a good candidate, I'm going to support him, but it's not against you. And he totally appreciated it, and then he goes, I actually don't have my phone right now, so I really can't see anything that's going on in the media. And I was like, oh, here I go.
Well, when you do, now you know what I meant.
Right.
Being way too
Just
honest.
reporting.
But I think the reason that was important to me is because when Hannah's season started, I was an advocate for there being an older Bachelorette. So it was nothing personal to her. I just was advocating for, and I was naming specific people that I felt were in a better place. And that was taken to make it seem like I didn't want Hannah.
Right.
So for Peter, I was like, oh great, I can actually talk to you. It's not personal, it's just what I think is we should have right now as a person, you know, as leading this franchise.
Definitely.